Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south.
Yamamoto Kut tail worm, my favorite worm. I like this over a SENKO. I said it. And I like the big size, the 7.75 inch or whatever. Rigging it Neko style. It's killer bait. So I use this as a follow-up bait for a burrito or whatever you're working out deep, like even a crankbait, you know, you can follow this up. So whatever you don't get with the bigger bait, like the burrito, I went and I cleaned them up, what was left out there on the Neko rig. And in fact, I was catching some of these bass for the second time. I went out, this is in the evening, and then I went out the next morning for an hour just to get some footage. And yeah, so I mean, that's how good it is. And right now they're really relating to that fast drop, man. They want it super fast falling, and they want it vertical. They don't, you know, it has to be vertical. So the spinning rod comes in hand for that. And then you need to make a super long cast, so, you know, and then you can give it slack so it falls as vertical and as fast as it can. That's what I found to be what works anyway. And anyway, man, it's been unseasonably cool for July. You can see I'm in, you know, pants and a sweatshirt. So the water's still about 72 degrees, give or take. Normally it's about 90 or 80 every day, but I mean, it's been in the 60s, so. And I mean, they crush this bait. Sometimes you got to let them eat it a little bit, depends on how they're hitting it, you know. That's something you have to figure out on the bite. A nice size fish there. Yep, and filming into the sun is probably not the best, but that's how I had to sit on this spot. You can see that reed bed off to the left in the far distance. This point goes way out there, and about halfway in between is where the weed line ends. And I mean, these fish were just sitting on hard bottom way out there. And now they weren't the biggest fish, but there was a huge school of them. And if it wasn't for me shooting this video, I wouldn't have been out there fishing for them. I would have went up shallow frogging or maybe even punching, because that's definitely where the bigger fish are right now on this lake anyway. But I mean, this is fun all day, man. One caster after another. So, but yeah, the Neko worm, and I'm using it on the same rod as the other Neko video. That's 7.6 Fighter Neko hair jig rod. Love it. Shimano 3000 reel, 12-pound braid to 10-pound leader. Yeah, so I don't write a script for these, if you guys couldn't tell already. I just kind of freestyle it. So, you know, that's why it might seem like I'm jumping around or repeating myself or missing information. So, but I prefer to do it this way, because if I start writing stuff down, then I just sound like a robot, I think. So, and this is just going to tell you too, you know, I mean, don't be afraid to throw that bigger worm, man. I was catching little dinks on this worm. June bug's where it's at, and that VMC Neko hook, half moon weight in there. I could have trimmed that out or edited that out. Oh, hooked up. Look at that rod, man. How's the new camera angle? I took the pad off the butt seat and MacGyver rigged it up. Ooh. Yeah, so the Neko bite's just been killer. And what's funny is, like, I've been throwing a, what's it called? The Tokyo rig, you know, just to keep them honest on like a beaver style bait or a tube and stuff. And man, they don't want nothing to do with it. They want that big old long worm falling as fast as it can vertical. And that's something you guys can play with when you're out there too, you know, is if you're using something slow falling and they're not hitting it, switch it up. Give them that Neko worm. Yeah, a raindrop got on the camera lens here, and I proceeded to leave it there all day. But yeah, I mean, you can throw this. I was just targeting outside weed lines, or I'd throw it into the weed line a little bit. And I mean, if you're getting hung up on weeds, you can use the weed guard hook one, but I never use it. I just go with the plain BMC Neko hook. Yeah, cloudy, overcast, and then sunny, and then rainy. One of those, as soon as you put on your raincoat, it quits raining. But yeah, this spot's been loaded. Found another couple spots like this, but it's not as loaded. But every time I go up shallow and kind of like frog around a little bit, oh man, I catch a big one. My net's been getting wore out. Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about. This is a variation. So I'm talking about expanding the bite, man. And this is a technique down in Mexico that's super famous, is they'll put a SENKO on a jig. So I was thinking, what else do I have like a Neko rig that'll fall fast and vertical? And a couple of years ago, man, I was down at Bacharach and I could hardly get bit, man. It was like the third day. Everybody was pretty much struggling. It was a tough bite. And this jig here is a DEPS headlock jig. It's a little finesse jig. It's my favorite little jig ever. So on that Bacharach, I was like, man, I have nothing to lose, man. I put on that little dinky jig. It's got a little hook on it, but a strong hook. And a 7.75 cut tail. And wore them out down there after I put that on. Of course, it was the last afternoon I was there, so I didn't get to beat on them too much. But I thought, oh man, let's try that here. Bam, worked. The only thing I found out, pike really like it too. Yeah, that underwater footage, the first one was a lighter jig, a quarter ounce, and then the second one was a little bigger, a half-ounce one. I just wanted to see the different fall rate, and hopefully I can keep doing those underwater videos. The lake is starting to get a little green, well, algae. See, just choking it, little babies. But I just wanted to show you guys that because, man, it's another way to expand that bite. Expand that Neko bite, that worm bite. Give them something different to look at. In fact, I hope I put the video on here. Maybe I saved it for another one. But I caught a really big giant for northern Minnesota on that rig. The finesse jig with a giant cut tail. Something different, something fun. People look at you crazy. No way, because it's, you know, just like a little fuzzball at the end of a big old worm. But yeah, it's July 17th, man. I'm having fun doing this, keeping myself busy. Poor net, man, I had to like hammer all the rivet back in between the net and the pole. I've never used a net this much in my life, but I'm liking it. It's that rubber coated, so it stays, you know, you don't get your hook stuck in there. Put on a new hat, that Mazzelon Menardo's hat. One day I should get a haircut, but we'll wait. We'll wait till I get 100 subscribers on this YouTube channel. And that's it for the episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.